What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Seth from Set Talks TV. And today we're going to jump into a couple of different topics. We're going to talk about Chauncey Billups and his sports betting. We're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith. We're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe. We're going to talk about J-Lo and these 50 billion marriages and entanglements, engagements, whatever you want to call it. You dig what I'm saying? So we're going to jump right on into it, man. We're going to jump right on into it with the first video being yours truly, right here. Let's get into it.
To make, because it is a very blessed life.
Do you think you've truly been loved? No. Do you think you really experienced loving someone?
What I learned, it's not that I'm not lovable, it's that they're not capable.
They can't love.
They don't have it in them. They need to appreciate the little person inside of them. They need to.
All right.
Give me what they had.
Right.
We've heard enough. Okay, so the overarching theme here that we're going to see is going to be called accountability. All right, and we're going to talk about absolving these high class, quote unquote, high class, high earning women from accountability. Because there's a lot of sucker simps and busters that are going to sit here and say, yeah, they didn't know how to love her. They're the problem. But if we check the stats, we're going to see she was engaged. She was engaged 5 times and she was married 3. So eventually we got to start looking at the man in the mirror or the woman and start saying, hey, J-Lo, what's going on, baby? You fine. You fine. You aging like wine. If you get on my program, you'll be a great one of mine. You dig what I'm saying? So, but what's going on, though? Why is it that every guy you end up with, similar to Kim Kardashian, for whatever reason, they don't stick around? For whatever reason, it's some type of scandal, some type of drama, some type of controversy, right? Woman hypergamy, choosing up, right? But eventually, you got to choose and you got to stick with your choice. Because let's say, for example, right, I heard a story a long time ago where it's a building, right? And a woman goes on the elevator. And on the first floor, the men make like 50K. Decent looking dudes. Second floor, 100K. Decent looking dudes, right? Chick's going up the elevator. She says, first floor, not enough money. I could do better. Second floor, gets there, likes what she sees. You know what I'm saying? Feels like she could be comfortable. Feels like she could be taken care of. But says, you know what? This isn't good enough. Goes to the third floor. The third floor, got some brothers on the third floor, 150, 200K. You feel what I'm saying? The 1%, for real. High income, high earning. You see what I'm saying? Henrys that are making it happen. She gets up there. She looks around, intermingles, talks to two different dudes, ends up leaving both of them and kind of tell them, hey, I'll call you back later. You know, I got something else going on, right? Goes up to the next floor. The next floor is millionaires only. It's millionaires only. Millie rocking only, right? She gets there, doesn't even step off the elevator to meet nobody, talk to nobody, because she's thinking in her mind, if it's millionaires here, and after every level we done went up, we done got more income dudes. Oh, we gotta go one more floor. We gotta go one more floor. We gotta see what's on the top, right? It's gotta be Billy's. It's gotta be billionaires. It's gotta be billionaire Bobby. You see what I'm saying? It's gotta be, right? It keep going up. We keep getting better and better and better, right? She go up to that last floor, man. The last floor says, you made it to the top floor. There are no men on this floor. you've lost, right? And I say that to say, this is how women go through life. They use hypergamy to choose up, choose up, choose up, right? But they're looking at money, they're looking at resources, they're looking for what somebody can do for them, and they're not actually looking at the reality of picking somebody who they feel like they can grow with and build with and start with. And they get to a point where after a certain amount of time, they done took too long. They done hit the wall, or they done hit the wall, or they was with a high class dude, or they was with a dude who was low class and became high class, and she try to come back to him later, and dude hit her with the stiff arm Heisman, and they weren't able to capitalize. You see what I'm saying? So eventually, after so much time, they lost. They lost, and they trying to pick up the scraps. They're trying to see what they can get. They become desperate later on in life, and so that just goes to show that's a real life example of what happens. Because they're always thinking the grass is greener. The grass is greener. They're never appreciative of what is. And I'm not gonna say never, but this is the story of a J-Lo S type woman and how she sees the world, thinking that she could continue to choose up and get better and better and better and better. And after time, because time's not on their side, when they get to 30, 33, I say 30, 33 to 35, right? You hit that wall. A lot of people think it's at 30, but you know, based off ethnicity and genetics, it can differentiate a little bit, right? But once they hit that wall, they hit that wall. They hit that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And once they hit it, ain't no coming back from it. You see what I'm saying? So they get to that point and they haven't locked in. They haven't locked in. They done chose up, 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 right? And the guy that they was really supposed to be with, they probably knew him since they was kids, right? But he wasn't at the level she wanted out of the guy that she was with, right? Because it's this fantasy of what your husband's supposed to be like, that these women have been sold of what their husband's supposed to be like their whole lives. So they fall in love with the idea of who this man could be instead of who this man really is. And so a lot of times you'll find that these women never know they men. And like she just said right there, she felt like she loved them, right? But they weren't capable of loving her. And what that's telling you is what love looks like to her isn't necessarily what the men felt like love was. So if you're not loving me the way that I want you to love me, you don't love me at all. And that's not true. That's not true. She feels like because they weren't loving her how she perfectly wanted to be loved, that means that they didn't love her. And so when you go to 3 marriages, 5 engagements, I don't know if the love is what's going, I don't know if that's what's really going wrong. Because for a man to sit down and say, I'm a wife this woman up, then clearly it's an error of love there. Because for a man that's high value, who's making money, to put it on the line and go all out for a woman and say, you know what, I'm gonna take you out the streets and I'm gonna put you in the house, right? Because J-Lo was famous from a young age. So for them to say, hey, you know what, regardless of what's going on in the industry, regardless of your success, we're gonna take you out the game, baby. We're gonna take you out the game. You're gonna be on the team, and you're gonna have a guaranteed contract. We giving you a guaranteed contract. You see what I'm saying? You being took out the game from a young age. So therefore, the men clearly seen something in her, clearly loved her. And the thing about it is, men, a lot of times, after a certain amount of time, we learn to love a woman and it becomes unconditional. They love the person they with. A lot of times women don't end up loving the person they with. They loving how that man's making them feel, or they loving how that man's providing for them. So it's a different type of love, right? But you feel like they don't love you because it's not the perfect way that you want it to be. And that's not true. And I think it's a real bad example for her to be damn near 50 years old, still talking about how men didn't love her or couldn't love her, and she loved them. It's cap. It's all hypocrisy, and it's gaslighting. And it's just from a lack of accountability, because what's going to happen is women are going to see this and they're going to do their little clocket shit, and they're going to be like, yeah, girl, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you right. They didn't love you. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. If you go talk to these men that she's been with, these motherfuckers going to be broken. And I'm not saying all of them, but it's a couple of them probably that's broken. Broken, man. Like, distraught. And they love her to this day and would take her back to this day. So don't try to fool us. You know what I'm saying? Over here on Said Talks TV, baby, we got some game. We see right through it. We know what's going on. Yeah, you still fine, baby, but we moving on with a new product. You think you about a program. And that's just not what it is. We not gonna just continue to just, after so many times, think that men are the problem all the time. Nah, you done got the ring. Shit, you damn near Thanos. You Thanos. All these rings you done got. You see what I'm saying? So we not buying that. We're not buying that at all. But women gonna stay on code, and women gonna come to her rescue, and they gonna come to her defense. They're gonna come to her defense, and they're gonna say, hey, well, girl, you just need to find yourself.
Every time.
But it's this much.
All the rings, all the things I could ever want.
All the rings. All the rings, all the things. Thanos.
The houses, the rings, the marriage, all of it. But
They didn't love you
they didn't,
and didn't know you.
and I didn't love myself.
It's tough. This is just.
And you don't know yourself at 50?
And I was thinking.
You don't know yourself at 50, baby?
They're about love. They really are.
They're all about love.
Come on, man. Howard, you got to get your content, big dog. I feel you. Get your content. Because that right there was sounding crazy. That was sounding insane. So we gonna jump right into the next thing, man. We gonna jump right into the next thing. I think I want to go with this Shannon Sharpe thing, because we got to hold Unc accountable. We gonna have to hold Unc accountable, because we held TT accountable, and now it's time to hold Unc accountable. Okay. Because this Shannon, we got to get him.
It said a lesson that's not learned is destined to be repeated. I had a conversation with my brother probably about 2 months ago. And he called me. And I said, well, he obviously knew what's going on, because I called him and told him her time. And then something else came out. Then something else came out. Then something else came out. Then ESPN came out. He said, Shannon, there's a lesson in here somewhere. For you to be going through what you're going through, there is a lesson. It's on you to figure it out. Yeah. I said, man, I sure wish he said, you know what? He said, no, that's not the plan. He said, if you knew what it was, you would circumvent the lesson. Right. He said, no, but you'll figure it out. Yeah. He said, you'll figure it out. And people, when y'all see me, I don't want y'all to have the wrong impression. But I'm just very guarded now. I'm very, very guarded. I was always on alert, but I'm on high alert. Because you don't
When
know.
LeBron get 20, 30 million at you, you're going to be on high guard, though. You're going to be on high. You're going to have them way, way, way up. You're going to have them way up, dog. We talking about 20, 30 million, bro, just got up at you. Young 21-year-old just got it out you, put it in her pocket, pimped you out, dog. So, yeah. You're gonna be on high guard, bro. And I seen a video of Ray Lewis, who was supposed to be his partner back in the day, coming for Shannon, saying, you know, he would have never expected Shannon to take the route that he did with his content and things like that. But it goes to show, man, when you up, they gonna rock with you. Like Drake said, when you wouldn't mean way back then, but how about now? And you gotta know that. You gotta know that, man. You gotta know that, because when you get up to that level of success, they gonna be rocking with you. They gonna be rocking with you, and they gonna act like they got your back, and they really don't. They really don't rock with you at all. They just act like it because it's beneficial. It's beneficial for them to support you. It's beneficial for them to be in your corner. It's beneficial for them to come on your podcast, right? But when you going through it, ain't nobody there no more. Ain't nobody rocking with you. Ain't nobody got nothing to say. Or when they got something to say, they either disappear, or when they got something to say, it's something negative, like Ray Lewis, who's supposed to be his partner or whatever. Whatever they fallout was, still, you wasn't talking about him when he was jumping off of Cat Williams, breaking the internet, putting P. Diddy out there, getting P. Diddy locked up. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't talk about that. P. Diddy wasn't even on the radar for real until that Cat Williams dropped. And then all of a sudden, this indictment's coming out. And people's talking, and now we got to take him down because of the court of public opinion. You see what I'm saying? So y'all didn't have nothing to say about him then, right? But it's on Shannon, Uncle Shannon, right? Uncle Sharpe, who's not so smart, to be accountable for his actions and what he doing. And to be smarter than that. I get it, man. It's box. But at the same time, though, you've been doing this a long time, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people come into fame, come into money real quick, boom, and now they messing up and getting into scandals. But you was in the league for a long time. Your brother was in the league, Hall of Famer. Y'all both Hall of Famers. So it's like you done had a long line of experience to where Shorty shouldn't have even been able to get up on you like that, or it should have been some non-disclosures, consent agreements, something in writing that's saying that this is a consensual setup, because she played you the whole way, has you on camera on some dominatrix type of thing, and made you look crazy. And now it's destroyed your image. You're not on ESPN no more. You're not good for sponsorships. Yeah, you still got sponsorships on your channel, but at the end of the day, it's a bad look, and you're losing money because of some chick who was just around to be around, or because you upset her and now she acting crazy, crashing out. That's not cool, man. It's not cool, because you are supposed to be the one they can't get over on. They're not supposed to be able to get over on you, man. They supposed to be able to get over on the young bucks who don't know no better. Not Unc. Not Unc. Come on, Unc. Not Unc. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, man, you talking about fake friends. You supposed to have been had that figured out. You supposed to have been peep what that was. Peep what was going on. You supposed to have been seen and known that. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, dog, you got to set the example. Because a lot of what's going on is women are following the unks. Youngins is following the unks. And and the young dudes don't even realize it. They following right along in their footsteps. And it's not even intentional. But that's what's going on. The leaders are leading, and we being led into destruction. So we got to do better, man. We got to do better. We can't be out here getting finessed like that. Oh, man. We can't be out here getting finessed like that.
Who I can really trust, because what I've seen over the last 6 months, there are very few people that you can actually trust.
We figured that out in high school, bro. You figure that out in high school. That's not something that's new information. Now let's dive into this Stephen A thing. right?
So
Mr.
Jasmine
Doubleback,
Crockett
Mr. Pump
chooses to
Fake.
express herself. I'm like, is that gonna help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just gonna go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House.
Yeah.
If I'm willing to
Right.
work with this man,
Right. That was the initial comments that he made about it, right? But he doubled back. And he was getting a lot of backlash for it on the internet about his comments about her, right? But then he doubled back and apologized. He doubled back and apologized to her about what he just said. Now, to me, I didn't hear anything that was incendiary or disrespectful that would make you say, nah, you're out of pocket. To me, I just seen fair criticism. For a Democrat, we are 32 days into the government shutdown, right? And so everybody should be under scrutiny. Everybody is able to be under scrutiny. Everybody's able to be criticized because y'all are still getting a paycheck. The military is supposed to be getting a paycheck, but it's people, we're having to move money around and make things shake and jive so we can get the military paid. But Congress is still getting paid. Air traffic control is not getting paid. Anybody that's an essential worker is not getting paid. It's been a month and they have not gotten paid over the last 30 days. It's 32 days. It's November 1st and they're still not getting paid. So we're double backing on comments, right? But our people are still not getting paid. We're being asked to work for free. So the criticism is fair. And I don't care that the woke mob is coming for him. But it's hard for people who are real stand-up people to stand behind him when he's double backing and changing what he's saying. The government needs to be open for the people who need the government. Point blank, period. I don't think that people should need the government, no. But it's people who do work for the government and who are working 10, 12 hours a day who are not being paid. And they deserve to be paid. You don't work for free. But yet, you're double backing on comments because somebody came in, knocked on your door, or you received too much criticism. But when it's time to criticize LeBron, you don't have to do no double backing. When it's time to criticize these young brothers in the league, you don't have to do no double backing. But when we're criticizing a person who needs correction for the job that she's doing, you're not double backing. You're double backing. That's not cool. Pick your side and stay there, bro. Or be objective. But don't apologize because people are criticizing you for the new lane that you jumped in. When if you're going to jump in the water, learn how to swim. You can't come on here talking all this big high power stuff and then want to double back on the comments because you feel some type of way. No, you didn't say nothing wrong. You criticized and you were right. And that's the bottom line. He didn't say nothing that was rude or disrespectful or whatever. So what?
straight shooter with Stephen
So why are we apologizing, man? How can we rock with you if you're gonna apologize all the time? Say what you say and stand on it like a man.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this special edition of.
Let's skip past all this. We don't
Welcome
want to
to this special.
We want to hear you. We want to hear you bending the knee. We want to hear you kissing the
But at
ring
the end of the day, I have to own it.
because that's what you
I'm going
did.
to do today. And so when somebody says to me, Stephen, rather than point to her and her verbiage and her language and how she talked about the president, what about how he talks? I have no problem with that. I can understand that. And if that is the reason that everybody is in an uproar, that is fine. And I have no problem apologizing to that to my sister because, damn it, I want her to know I don't feel that way about her. Just like I didn't feel that way about Kamala Harris. Just like I don't feel that way about the marvelous, the wonderful, the incomparable, the greatest first lady ever, Michelle Obama, in my estimation, or anybody else. But what we're going to do on this show is understand who the hell I am and how it's going to be as long as I'm doing this show. I have no problem apologizing if I'm wrong. I have no problem apologizing if I've made somebody feel a certain kind of way. But I'm going to challenge the legitimacy of what people come at me with when I think that challenge is warranted and deserved. If you came to me and you said to me that it came across as a bit dismissive, Stephen, you should have been more protective of her than that because look at how he speaks. Look at how they act on Capitol Hill towards her. I understand that.
No. She's a public figure. She's getting paid taxpayer dollars, so we're able to criticize her. And that's the bottom line. Do your job, do it well, and there's nothing to say. Just like the people in Chicago who we built an Obama library, but the library's over budget and it's got cracks in it. And it looks crazy. It looks like a prison. That person deserves criticism. Because that's our money. It's coming out of our checks. And you're a public figure. And you're running your mouth and bumping your gums, drawing attention to yourself so people will take note of you. But what are you really saying? You're talking, right? And you're drawing all this attention in, right? And when people start paying attention to you, now people are going to start paying attention to you and they want to know, okay, what are they about and what are they saying? And then when we get to what you're about and what you're saying, you're not talking about nothing. You're just talking about Trump the whole time. How can you be a Democrat and support Democrats and look for what they're trying to say if every time they're talking about Trump? We don't want to hear about him. We want to hear about what y'all are going to do. We want to hear about how y'all are going to make some change, not about Trump. Because y'all are giving free promotion to the man. Whether you support him or not, you're just giving him free promotion by always talking about what he's doing. Subconsciously, consciously, whatever. So it doesn't even look good. What are you really standing for? I'm drawing all this attention to myself, but at least I'm bringing a message to where when you get here, okay, you can say I rock with Said from Said Talks TV. He talking about some real, you see what I'm saying? But they're just talking, right? And ain't nothing, and like I said, ain't nothing being done differently. We are more than 30 days into a shutdown, and we're still talking about an oligarchy tour with Bernie Sanders. AOC, Bernie Sanders, Jasmine, just making a whole bunch of noise. We're talking about oligarchy, but how are we trying to open up the government? Trump's about to go around, use the nuclear option, and the Dems aren't going to have nothing to do with it, and it's going to make them look even worse because it's going to look like, well, they opened it up. All the single baby mamas that was talking trash, all the people that was talking trash, talking about how ICE and National Guard aren't going to come to Chicago or come to Memphis and do nothing, right? 2 weeks later, now things are more safe, and people are like, you know what? We actually appreciate the fact that they came down here and kind of cleaned up the city, because now we can go up to restaurants, go to clubs, and not have to worry about getting popped at or getting clapped at. So they're actually appreciating it, right? And guess what? The same thing's going to happen if we open up this government without y'all. And guess what? The same way they use propaganda and Republicans use propaganda, people are going to say, hey, the Dems didn't have nothing to do with this being opened up. So all those baby mamas talking about they was going to go in the store and steal, and they don't care what happens. Guess what? These same women are going to be like, shoot, they opened up the government for us. We rock with them. It's bad PR. It's bad marketing. Y'all are not doing nothing to make people turn back to the Democratic side. What is y'all argument other than Trump is bad? What reason do I have to vote for you other than we don't like Trump? What is the reason? There's no other reason other than that. Talk about Trump all day long, but what are y'all going to do to actually make a difference? That's what we want to know. What are y'all going to do to actually make a difference? And we still waiting. 32 days until the government shut down. I ain't heard nothing yet. I ain't heard another strategy yet. Hakeem Jeffries, the Timu Obama, ain't even really sharp and cut like that. People don't even want to listen to what he has to say. He's boring. So they're going to have to come up with a different plan. They're going to have to figure something else out, because the way they're going about it right now is not working by any means at all. So when we get an update on it, we'll come back and we're going to talk about it. But that's all for now. It's been another episode. Tune in next time. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Appreciate you. I'll rock with you if you rock with me. You dig what I'm saying?